Hello adventurers, it is I, Solus Venture, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today is a Wednesday. So on Wednesdays we do World Building Wednesdays, where we cover a topic about anything solo tabletop RPG related, and as well as updates on my projects. So for updates for projects, I don't have any updates. I have been taking a break kind of creating games and such, and so I don't know, I feel like it's always good to take a break whenever your creative process has been like flowing for so long. And so I'm excited to enter into, I don't know, maybe like next month or the month after that with a more refreshed mindset. And so that is all I have for updates. And then we are going to be covering this topic all about world building. And so we are going to cover random tables. So you are building the world you want to explore by making your very own random tables. So imagine you are an adventurer and you overhear this rumor at a local tavern that there is a magical portal on this mountain. And so, of course, you being the brave adventurer that you are, you want to see what this portal is all about. And so you make it to the top of the mountain and there you are. The portal is right in front of you. Do you want to go off on a brand new adventure and see what's beyond the portal? That is kind of my imagery for world building and for some random tables. Whatever you roll, depending if it's like a D6 to a D100, you never know what the results are. And so we will be covering how to make your very own tables. And I will also say I'm actually kind of making my own random tables, and I'll probably post it on my itch.io for anyone who's interested in downloading it. And of course, it will be for free. Well, first off, why would you want to make your own? And for me personally, I personally get to customize my own world to my own tone, genre, and setting. And my other reason is that it's fun. It's a great way to actually get the creative process like flowing, and it also kind of helps you think ahead about different things that your character or an NPC, what they might encounter in the world that you are building. And let me just explain really quick. When I mean build the world, that literally does not mean you're building an entire planet. I feel like that would be very hard and overwhelming, especially if you are new to this hobby. So when I mean build the world, it essentially just means that you are building a campaign, and it might start off in a small region, or it might start off in a small town. I always give this tip to newer players that if you do want to learn how to build your own world, always start small. Start in a small town, start in a small region, and then build after you kind of figure out kind of where you want the story to go. And so that is my tip. Always start small with your world building. So for random tables, let's say you come across certain resources online or maybe through your tabletop RPG books, and you realize that a lot of the tables that you are rolling on is not exactly what you need. And I will say that is a very common problem, and that is okay. And that is where I always recommend the solution to make your own. So for the first step, you need to pick a purpose. So what do you want this table to help me decide? Do you want random events? Maybe you want NPC personalities or reactions. Maybe you want rumors. So this question is really important before you decide to build a table. And now, for my example, and this is the one that I actually want to build out and share with you guys, is a random table of symbols or runes. Maybe it can be like tattoos or maybe signs or omens. And so I am kind of in the middle of creating that, and we're going to use that as an example as we go through the video today. So that is the first thing that you need to decide for yourself. Pick a purpose. Okay, so number 2, you decide a dice size. So for a D6 all the way to a D100. So you have a D6 you have a D8. Over here you have the D10, and then the D12, the D20, and then the D100 when you combine these two. I actually avoid, I try to avoid a 1D4 just because I feel like it's very limiting if you want to create random tables. But anyways, that goes from really quick and simple to a lot more variety and options. So of course, it's up to you if you want to do handwritten notes or if you want to do it online. I honestly think handwritten is a lot more fun and more engaging for me personally. But that is where I come up with like smaller tables. So I probably, if I am handwriting it, I probably go from like a D6 to maybe a D12. Anything above a D12, so D20 or 100, D100, I will most likely type it up. And so that's probably what's gonna happen when I create my table for you guys. For this example, I decided to choose a D10. So D10 will give me 10 options for a random table of symbols. So that's number 2. You need to pick out a dice size. And now for number 3. You must write your entries. So you have to list outcomes that match your tone of that purpose of the table. So for my example, we have here D10 of symbols. So as you can see, I listed out 1 through 10, and I came up with these symbols. And for folks who are new to this, sometimes it's kind of hard to just like come up with stuff like on your own. And so I always recommend to 1, Google search, but 2, you can also think of maybe certain fantasy settings or stories or movies or books of different things that you've come across when reading or watching those stories. And so like for example, I don't know, like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I fucking love Avatar: The Last Airbender. And maybe for symbols, you can do the elements or something. So you can do something like that. So that's kind of an example of like choosing maybe like stuff that you nerd out on and getting inspiration from those resources and putting it into your own table. So for me, I also love to look at like history and maybe like lore or legends, maybe like legends about the North Sea or something, or maybe legends about like the Inca civilizations. Like those are really interesting to like research on, and you can put it into your tables. And so for me, I just kind of did it randomly. So for this D10 of symbols, we have here a flame, an eye, a knot, moon, lightning bolt, shield, serpent, tree, wolf, and claw marks. So those are examples of symbols that I came up with. Another way that you can do it is you can start with like a symbol type. And so maybe for symbol type, you can make like a list of maybe 6 options or something. And you have shapes, you have nature, maybe that could be related to like plants, you have animals, horror, that can be related to something more on like the darker, grim side of like symbols. Another like theme would be, I don't know, probably relating to maybe certain classes, maybe like a priest class, a thief class. And so those are examples of maybe having a table first that gives out the symbol type, and then whatever you roll, you go to the symbol type table, and then that is where you list outcomes. So for example, if I rolled on a symbol type and I got shapes, and then I would roll on the random table of shapes, so that could be like circle, maybe that can be rectangle, triangle, hexagon, etc. So this is a way for you to create random tables. And so random tables are very helpful, especially if you go blank on ideas. And plus, it also gives you a nice element of surprise. And I will let you know when I am done creating my table of like symbols or runes. You can use that as maybe like tattoos on like an NPC that you like come across or something. Because I've noticed for myself, I love using like symbols or runes in my like adventures. And I love trying to like draw out kind of what the PC is like seeing or something. And so I feel like that'd be a fun random tables to create. And so yeah, I'll let you guys know when I create that, and then I will share that with you guys as well. That is kind of all that I have as a tip for creating your own random tables. You don't need much. You just probably need like a blank page, and then you just start writing and you start deciding maybe the type of like dice that you want to choose. But so that is all that I have for today's tip. Building the world you want to explore by making your very own random tables. So thank you so much, adventurers, for joining me in today's World Building Wednesday. I will keep you updated when I am done creating the random tables of symbols. That is all that I have for you today. Until next time.